another episode of trying here on my YouTube channel. So we're going to give this a try and see what we can do. Today we are going to be trying a video from Sandy Allnock, I think is how you say her name. I know I feel like I said that wrong, so I'm going to double check. Let's see. Allnock. So sorry, said that wrong. She is a watercolor artist that you can follow on YouTube and on Facebook and stuff. I'll leave her link below. And so I'm not a huge watercolor person, so this could get really interesting. And so I've got the watercolor sets that I have, that I own, kind of out here. I've got 2 Jane Davenport sets. I've got the Illustrated Faith set from Pebeo, and then I have got this set from Amy Tangerine, which is super cute for travel. If you haven't seen it yet, it's great. And so I've kind of got those all sitting out. I went ahead and drew in the outline, so we're going to be doing kind of a surreal up-close candle kind of situation. So let's get started. Like I said, I've got that right there and I've got it drawn, and let's get started and let's look at the first part of her tutorial.
Hi there, I'm Sandy Allnock, artist and Bible journaler, and I'm working through the 3rd week of Advent in this series based on Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders. And he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. And I'm taking each one of those titles each week and working on a page based on that. And this one is actually out of order because I'm taking the last one and then the next one, because the next one is going to have a manger in it, but I wanted to do a different candle. And I found a picture on the internet of this beautiful close-up of a candle, and it was this gorgeous teal candle, and I thought, I want to try recreating that in my Bible in this very impressionistic style that I just love to do, and that I've been doing for all of this series, and showing you just some techniques on how to blend the colors and that sort of thing. So I've sketched this out, and I'll have the sketch for you as a link in the doobly-doo, or you can just draw the shapes really easily. They're not difficult to do, and it's a melty candle, so you can make it do any old thing you want, melt any old way. And I started by putting some teal on the inside portion of the candle and purple in the background, and I'm just throwing a little bit of yellow right along the edge of the flame. And I'm careful to not add too much yellow, because yellow and purple, since they're complementary colors, will turn into brown. So you don't want to add too much of that. And then I'm going to take more of my teal color and paint the other part of the inside of the candle. And in the picture that I saw, there was all of this beautiful color in the background that was really soft.
Okay, so I can do this. So I actually went and bought a big floofy brush, kind of like the one she was using. I don't know if it's the exact same one, but it looked uber floofy like hers. And of course, since I'm doing watercolor, I've got a clean thing of water. So she started out, let's get our brush wet, and she started out with a teal. So I've kind of got, see if I've got one that's a teal. I think this is the closest teal-ish. It's a little brighter than hers, but I guess I could mix it with some teal and add a little bit of dark blue to get my, I think this color is pretty close to what she used. She also, unless she did it without saying, she did not prep her page, which is super weird for me, but that's just me. So we're going to go with it. So we're going to add our teal to kind of what would be the inside part of our candle here. I've never used a big fluffy brush this big and fluffy, so that's kind of weird. It's just not what I'm used to. That's okay. That's the whole trying series is about figuring out maybe something new that I like and I didn't know, or figuring out something, I don't know, just trying. That's the whole purpose. Trying so you don't have to. It takes a lot of water, y'all, to get this brush wet. I wonder what kind of brush she used. I might look in her. She's got some links in the video to see what kind, because her brush seems to be just a lot smoother and fluffier than this one is, so it might just be like a different kind of brush maybe. Okay, so that's kind of the inside portion. That is the only bad part about doing something heavy in a water-based medium, is it makes it sometimes a little hard for you guys to see because of the glare. Let me see if I shift it just a little bit. Oh, that helped a little. Alright, and then we're going with a dark purple. So let's see which one of these is a dark purple. That one's a bright purple. Yeah, let's go with that one. We're going to go with this one from my Jane Davenport Brights. It's a little brighter than the one she's using. Hers is a little bit more muted than this one, but this is what I got, so this is what we're going with. I have done watercolors in the past, but it's more just kind of like accents and drawing girls and that kind of stuff. I've never done kind of this style of watercolor, which is kind of her Sally's forte. And so if I dork it up, my apologies. Okay, so she kind of did her background in this dark purple to kind of give it some pop. And this side. What's in her video is really interesting is she starts out with this kind of simple shape in these simple colors, but then the more she adds those layers and darkness and lights, it really does just pop and become just this really cool thing. We'll see how well I do here. Okay, so I got that, and then she says to go in with a yellow, and she kind of uses almost like a, not like a bright yellow, but more of like a muted yellow. So I think I'm going to, I've got kind of this ochre yellowish color that I think will work. I'm sure she probably in the descriptions and stuff tells the exact color she uses and stuff, but that's okay. Okay, so she kind of did this little thing, and she even said try not to make them touch, and I let them touch, so I'm going to grab some paper towels and do a little dabby dab there. Dabby dab dab dab. It's all good. It's all good. I'll go back and fix that. I don't know what I'm doing, y'all, but that's okay. Okay, so there's our little flame. Kind of bring it down this way. And then go back in and touch up that purple that I kind of dorked up a little bit. Ugh, this brush is so big and fluffy. Just not used to it. Okay, apparently I need to dry that up a little bit more because it's still just, there we go, that kind of worked. Keep our flame all loosey-goosey there. Okay, so that's kind of where she was when we paused. So let's pause again and watch her video for just a second.
The back side of the candle melted into the background. So that's sort of the look I'm looking for, is to create that front edge of the candle and the flame, creating this emphasis that really makes the flame stand out. Candles and flames are wonderful imagery to use in Bible journaling, so you can use this any time of year for lots of different verses. I've chosen to go for John 14, where Jesus is talking about peace I leave you, peace I give you. And since I'm looking at Jesus as the Prince of Peace this week, That seemed an appropriate verse to address. And next week I'll be doing a manger.
Okay, so it looks like she went back in with the teal to do the bottom portion of our candle. But she left like this little lippy to kind of give it some dimension. So I'm gonna go in here. I think I might be getting the hang of this brush. I could be wrong, but I think I might be. So we've got this, and we're filling it in. And I think that's, I don't know if that's my hair or the brush hair. Okay, so she kind of filled that bottom portion in, and to kind of make the line not as harsh, she took some paper towel and kind of dabbed at the edge. I guess that's right, dabby dabby. This working on raw page is so weird for me because I'm always like, have prepped it, and or there's some kind of thing, I don't know. This is weird for me, but it's okay. It's okay. I can do it. I believe in myself. I can do it. Okay, so let's hop back over and see what her next step is.
So the front part of the candle, that one at the bottom, has a white edge at the top of it. And notice that I painted, you know, kind of a messy line at the top section, and then I just took a baby wipe and dabbed it off to soften it. Now I'm mixing a darker color. This is a regular cobalt blue. I'm just kind of mixing that with the cobalt teal blue, that turquoise color, and getting lighter as it gets toward the flame. And then I'm going to use the baby wipes to make sure I have a soft edge all along that. And as I start adding more color, you're going to start to see the candle get some depth around it, because that bottom section is going to go dark, and then the inside of the candle and the background are going to go dark, because that's what makes light look light, is when it has dark to be in contrast with.
Okay, so it looks like we are going to continue to add some darkness, and we also found out she did not use paper towel. She used a baby wipe to soften that edge, so hopefully that doesn't bite me in the booty. Okay, so we're going to go in, I guess, with this blue. That's really, really blue. Is that the blue I want? Yeah, she used kind of a little bit more of a navy blue. I don't really have a navy blue. What color is this? That's a little more muted than the one I was going to use. Let's try, oh wait, no, I do have one that's a little bit, let's try this one. Okay, we're going to go with this color. You can't really see off to the side what colors I'm talking about. It's from the Jane Davenport Neutrals color palette. So I'm trying to get a good watery consistency here. And then we're going to come in here. I've got one that's a smidge darker, but I want to save that for that last step where I need to add an even darker color. And so I don't want to like pigeonhole myself into a color that I don't need yet. Okay, now we're going to take our baby wipe and soften that little edge. And then we're going to go in even darker with, I think, this guy. I think he's a little bit darker, not much darker. Maybe I need to do a little mixy-poo on some colors. What is that? I think those are, it's a green, right? Oh wait, no, is that a, hold on, I might have found a darker blue. It's hard to tell when they're in like the little pans. It's hard to tell. Oh, Oh, yeah, I found a really dark blue. Okay. Okay, I think we're might have added a little bit too much water, so we're gonna dabby that a smidge so it's more pigment, less water. In case you haven't figured out, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so we've added a bunch of darker colors on top, and then we're gonna go in with our baby wipe and do the dabby to keep the edge kind of, oh, I think I dabby too much. Okay, let's go in with that light blue just a little bit to kind of bring back that color in the middle. Okay, okay, we're getting there, we're getting there. It's looking like a candle, so yay. Okay, let's hop back on and see what our next step is.
In actual Isaiah 9:6, the verse that inspired the study that I've been doing and this series. So the front part of the candle, that one at the bottom, has a white edge at the top of it. And notice that I painted, kind of a messy line at the top section, and then I just took a baby wipe and dabbed it off to soften it. Now I'm mixing a darker color. This is a regular cobalt blue. I'm just kind of mixing that with the cobalt teal blue, that turquoise color, and getting lighter as it gets toward the flame. And then I'm going to use the baby wipe to make sure I have a soft edge all along that. And as I start adding more color, you're going to start to see the candle get some depth around it, because that bottom section is going to go dark, and then the inside of the candle and the background are going to go dark, because that's what makes light look light, is when it has dark to be in contrast with. If you contrast around that flame. So while the bottom part is drying, I'm going to put a lot of nice dark color right at the bottom of the flame and on both sides of it. Just kind of let that dark color set inside there. And then you can make the edge of the candle as melty and drippy as you want it to be. You can adjust the shape of it and everything. That's why I say you don't really need a sketch for this one. It's more of just make a wiggly line for the front edge of it, draw your flame, and then a wiggly line for the back edge. And if you're doing this in a column on this.
So it looks like I am adding some dark here around our candle and kind of up this way so that we've got that contrast. Okay, let's add a little bit more dark down here, and then she takes it kind of all the way up here. But I was like, didn't I just do all that teal? Why did I put teal down if I'm just going to cover it up with dark? Maybe that's just me, nobody? Is that just me? Okay, so I'm adding these dark colors under here. And I think I'm going to add a little bit more of this dark color. I think I was supposed to let this dry and I kind of blotted it instead. And so I kind of muted this dark down a little bit. Make sure you guys can see that. Okay, it's kind of looking like hers. I'm not mad at it. Go back in. Okay, yeah, that really needed just a little bit more of that dark in there because I had kind of dabbed it up a little too much. So we were missing kind of that depth in there. I feel like I might be overworking the page a little bit, so I'm gonna try to be a little bit more gentle. Okay, that looks candleish. Anybody? Yes, I think it looks candleish. Okay, let's make that less of a line and more of kind of a fade. Okay, we're rocking a candle. That's good. That's good. All right, let's hop back in. She was beginning to start talking about the more purple in the background.
So now I'm adding another layer to the purple. I mixed a dark purple again, and I'm letting it touch the wet edge of the teal back of the candle, and letting that soft edge be in contrast to the hard edge that's on the front part of the candle. And I'm just going to dab up some of these places. The Bible paper gets a little wrinkly, and then it holds color in the wrinkles. But if you dab that out with a tiny little bit of baby wipe or paper towel or something, that usually lifts it up. I do tend to prefer baby wipes because they don't lift up on like a dry surface. A dry surface like a paper towel will suck up all the moisture. If it's a baby wipe, it doesn't suck it up quite so drastically, so you end up with softer edges. I like soft edges. So now I've got that background starting to really make the flame pop out. The flame's starting to really appear to be much more important in the picture.
Okay, so I'm gonna attempt to rock this whole flame thing she's got going on here. So I feel like hers is a lot softer, like her edges on her flame are softer than mine. So I'm gonna go in and kind of maybe see if I can fix that a little bit. Just being very careful because that blue is still wet. I don't know if this is right. Oh, my blue's getting in it. Okay, so we're going to come back to that once I figure out that. So she added some blue to the base, like you would see in a flame, of course. I'm going to dab this just a smidge so it's not too wet. So I'm going to add a little bit of blue down here, and it's kind of mixing with that dark blue. I think I might have made the wick in my candle a little too fatty. My bad. I'm going to dab it just a little bit so it's a little drier. Hopefully I can get a little bit softer of a blue down here and less gray. Oop, I think that might be a little too blue, friend. A little too blue. Let's see if I can. Maybe I'll get used to this fatty brush one day, but today is not the day. Alright, maybe if I dab it, it'll kind of... Okay, that's a little... not perfect. Definitely not perfect, but it's better. Okay, and then we're going to go in and make the tip or our candle flame here. Okay, she kind of went. Yeah, I made my wick too fatty. That's part of my problem with this bottom portion. Okay, let's soften the edges a little bit. Okay, it's kind of working. I mean, hers is prettier, not gonna lie. I wonder if this might be me making a huge mistake here. Let's see if I can soften this edge of my candle so it looks more glowy and less static. I think my candle's a little too thick in general. How did she cover up her lines? Like, I can still see, maybe it's just the, like, I can still totally see all of my pencil lines. I guess you can in hers a little bit. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah. Oh, my finger's in it. Doggone it, I did it again, friends. Cover, cover, cover that little guy. Okay, let's see what she's adding next. Oh, Lord, friends. Why did I decide to do this series? So I can make mistakes, so you don't have to.
I've put a little bit of blue at the bottom because sometimes you get a little blue flame, and then some yellow in the center of it, and then let the rest of it be white. Now you could stop here, and most people would stop here. I don't stop here. I keep going because I really want to light up the darkness with this page in my Bible. So I am just adding lots and lots of rich dark color, and I'm not afraid of it. I have tested this enough that I know it's still not going to bleed through the back, even though I'm putting all this color on. You'll have to test your own paints. Different brands may act differently, so I don't want to say that it's always going to work this way, but watercolor is really safe on Bible paper that I've found. There's a few brands that bleed through, but just test the ones that you have, and you don't have to get super expensive ones. I use these fancy Daniel Smith paints because I use them for my art, but you can use much less expensive ones, and you can get this kind of rich color by layering the way that I'm doing. Just let one layer dry, add more to it. Let that layer dry, add more to it again, and you can get these beautiful rich colors. So here I'm adding more to the center, but I'm using the baby wipe to soften out that top edge so that it starts to lighten. And then when I get to the background, I'm mixing a really dark purple with a like navy blue in it, and I'm making a really strong contrast now for that background so that that defines the edge of the back of the candle. You can probably not see a whole lot because I've got reflections on all this water, but you'll see when I'm done how this is going to work. I'm also going to soften that edge some because I don't want that hard edge. I went to all the trouble of trying to make it soft.
Okay, so we're going in with more, just more. Okay, what color did I use this blue. So we're doing more of this dark blue right here to give it more depth. And then, oh no, that's the paper towel. Going in and doing our little dabby dabby do there. Okay, okay. And then we're gonna go in here and add some dark over here and give it that little dabbing to keep my edge nice and soft. Okay, okay, we're working on it. I think I know why I don't do this style of watercolor. It stresses me out. Anybody else get stressed out by stuff like this? It's actually not hard. It's just it's so unfamiliar. I'm very like, am I doing this right? Is this the way this goes? What are we doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, and then she went into the background with a mixture of a navy blue and a purple. So I'm going to use the darker purple I used up here and the navy blue that I used here and kind of do a little mixy on those. And see if I can get a little bit darker purple to use for that, because that's what she did. So we're going to try that. Okay, so I think I ended up with a good color. Yeah, that kind of looks like the color she used. I have not flipped this over yet to see, because she said, you know, watercolors don't typically bleed through, but you know, it depends on your watercolor and that kind of stuff. So we'll see at the end of this what the back of this page looks like. Okay, so she kind of went in and added kind of this darker all over, but then I'm pretending I know what I'm doing here. Trying to give that some pop in those little spots with the blue, purple, blue mixture. But then since my base layer underneath that, there we go. I need a little bit more definition right there. Then to make it pop more, we're going to take our baby wipe, and since that under pinkish purplish layer was dry, I should lift this and it'll give it some dimension and some texture. You guys like how I sound like I have a clue what I'm doing? It's all good. Okay. Okay, that's looking very candly. That's looking very candle. My flame situation in the middle, not so much. So I am going to cheat. Is that wrong to say? I've got some white watercolors, and I'm wondering if I go in and just soften that flame a little bit, if it will look a little less, I don't know, a little less bit. Alright, so it's in the Amy Tangerine set is this white watercolor, but my problem is my brush had purple in it, and now my white watercolor has purple in it. Oh, and I just got water on that side. Oh, friends. It's okay, I can do this. I don't know how many times I apologize that I've hit my camera now and didn't notice. Okay, my water is purple, so it's going to hue my white just a smidge, but it'll be what it be. Okay, I'm gonna go, ooh, this was a bad idea, wasn't it? Yep, gonna stop that. Gonna stop that. Y'all, I'm dorking stuff up. Gotta be more careful, apparently. Okay. Gotta have to tell myself to walk away. So this might be fun, if you're more familiar with how kind of watercolors move and that kind of stuff. I'm not crazy familiar, like I said, with watercolors outside of kind of the style I normally do. And so I'm just trying to soften these little edges because they're so harsh. Kind of helped a little bit. I mean, it's still not super great, but so if you haven't seen my other trying video, I tried a field of flowers from Scribbling Grace, and I think that one was a little, oh, that looks better. Okay, yes, the wick looks better like that. I think that one in my brain was a little bit easier because it was abstract, and I tend to be more abstract or whimsical in my paintings and stuff, so I think this one, trying to look more realistic, might be what is stressing this girl the heck out. But that's okay. That's what part of this series is for, to see, hey, do I want to cultivate, is it something that I might want to cultivate to do more realistic? Okay, so let's go one more layer of this dark over down here. Give it just a little bit more pop. I mean, for not having a clue what I'm doing, I think this is pretty good and pretty close to her finished product. I mean, my candle, or my flame is a little bonkers. Just a smidge bonkers, but I don't hate it. And yes, her tip about using the baby wipe versus the paper towel, all the difference in the world when you're trying to pick up and kind of smooth out those edges. All the difference, friends. Okay, I'm gonna go in. I don't like how not clean my line is right here, so this might be a bad idea. How many times have I said that in this video? Should we have a count? When I do the editing, should I put a count of this might be a bad idea count? I just want this light, this dark to be a little bit more like cover my shame of my little mess ups here. Hide my shame. Hide my watercolor shame. Oh, Sally, if you ever watch this, have mercy on me. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. So keep my darks down here. And then dabby dabby, so it's softer edges. And I dork this up again, so I'm just gonna dabby dabby right there. Nope, not what I meant to do. Too much dabby. Oh, Lord Jesus. Oh. It's okay. I got this, friends. I'm going to add that dark purple a little bit back in there since I kind of got it too aggressive with the dabby dab. Actually, I think I got it mixed in a little bit with my yellow, and then when I went to dabby it, it went a little cray cray. Okay, then, okay, let me not over dabby dabby, Lord. Just gonna try to smooth out. Sorry, I got really quiet there. I was concentrating. Concentration. Okay, friends, I think that's pretty good. Okay, let's hop back into her video one more time. I think we're close to being done. Let's see where she's at.
So now I can go in and add some texture in the purple in the back. And I've got kind of a couple purples. There's some pinkish purple in there as well as some dark bluish purple. And I'm even throwing some of that purple down there in the very base of the candle, right underneath of where that flame is, and in the wick of the candle as well. And it doesn't matter that it's purple going into this teal blue. It just works with the whole thing, brings all those colors together. So now I'm going to add just a little bit more down here on the bottom. Just keep adding more and more layers, softening up those edges, and just tapping around until I'm satisfied with the look of it. And just kind of softening some edges. And then when I finished, I ironed it all and flattened it and added my text to it. And God gave me the word reveal. So I want him to reveal what true peace is for me right now. That's what my prayer for this week is, that he'll do that for me and for you, that he'll show us what peace really is and what peace is in him, because in this world, we have craziness going on. We want His peace.
Okay, so this is how roughly she left hers. She dried it and then added some words. She ironed it, which I don't iron my stuff, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's not a good idea. I don't know. Maybe ironing is a good thing. I don't know how to iron a Bible page, but okay. So all in all, I know I stressed out a lot. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say, for me personally, because I'm not super familiar with watercolors and that kind of stuff, this was on the difficult level, was probably a 7. Only because I think I maybe was trying to overthink it because it's so out of my realm of normal expertise. But when it comes to supplies, obviously it's a super simple project. You just need your kind of basic watercolors and your Bible. It's a simple shape, so you don't have to have drawing skills, so that's good. And so all in all, I think if I got used to more of this kind of loose style, I think it would be super fun. And I think I got a gorgeous picture out of it. I mean, it looks like a candle to me. I'll do a side-by-side between the two of ours once mine's dry and I figure out what word I want to put on it. Let's do a quick little peeky at the back and see if my watercolors went through. So it looks like mine did, but again, it could just be the type of watercolor she uses versus mine. Since mine are probably a little bit less expensive than hers, mine probably required more water to get the color saturation, as opposed to the I can't remember which brand she said she used, but they're one I know, and they're definitely a higher end. So the pigments probably are a little looser, so it takes less water. So that's probably why she's able to do these kind of things and not have the colors bleed through. But all in all, super fun. I'm only mildly stressed out. So I hope this gives you guys an idea of something to try. Another new technique. Get out there and try something different. If there's a technique that you want me to try, leave that comment down below, and I will try it on next month's installment of the Try series. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, and I will see you guys next time.